folks, welcome back to my channel, Demo690 here, and today I thought I'd have a little go at the sprocket cover that I had for the cb125 RS. As you can see, I pieced it together using some JB weld, but as you can see, some of it's not in that great a condition. I mean, there's a little rise there. You'll probably see it when I put filler on it, but I'll try my best to get it out. There's a piece there that I filled in all together which was missing, and I sort of kind of made it look good myself. It is what it is. I mean, it was just broken everywhere. This is the back of it, bit messy, but I deliberately put loads on there to make sure and give it plenty of support. But I'm going to try and put a little bit of eyes upon filler on this tonight, and when I get it put on properly and everything, I'll try and smooth it out then as best I can with a bit of paper or whatever. It's freaking really cold in this shed tonight, so I don't know if I'm going to spend that long here, but I'll get some of this onto it anyway, at least for now. So be with you in a wee minute. Okay, I'm sure that most of the people that's watching this has used filler at some stage before. For the benefit of those who haven't, I'm just going to show you now that what you get. So you get this tin, and there's a black cover on it like that, just a tin. When you open your tin, you'll get instructions, and this is the hardener, or catalyst if you want, and you get a little sort of a scraper spreader thing for spreading it. It's wise to try and keep this clean after you've used it. It can be used several times then. P38, there's different types in this. There's easy sand and all of that stuff, but this is I think this is the easy sand stuff. I'm not quite sure. Either ways, they all do the same sort of thing. So I'm going to open the tin now, and we're going to mix a bit of this up. I've got a little bit of piece of cardboard here, and I'll be back with you just in a little second when I get a bit of light set up and my tripod. I bought a new tripod, guys, so I'm not going to be turning around, oh, where am I going to put you now? I have something to hold my phone now, so back with you in a minute when I get that set up. So this is my cheap tripod that I bought in a pound shop sort of place. Deals actually is where I got it, in my local town here, and just the thing to take a bit of the pain out of recording stuff and that. So I'll get this set up and I'll be with you then in a second. That's a little better. You can see what I'm at now. So I've got the cardboard. Maybe just flick these up a little bit. Yeah, better. So you've got your cardboard here, you've got your hardener. We've got that in there, yeah. I'm just going to get a screwdriver and open this tin. Okay, so the idea with this stuff is not to mix it when you're putting it on the cardboard. You take a scooping of it and you spread it out very lightly across the cardboard so that you don't introduce bubbles into it. If you introduce air bubbles, you're going to have pits, and that becomes a problem. So I'm going to mix up a little bit here, and what it says is something the size of a golf ball. You would put 1 drop of the hardener, pea-sized drop. So that's what I'm going to do now, and you just twist the cap off it, just like so, twist it off, and then that'll be a cap for sealing it later. And you just put a little pea-sized drop on it. Assuming it's opened, maybe I have to puncture that with something. No, there it is. You'll see. See, there's about a pea size drop for the amount that's there. That should be just fine once we have it mixed. Then you swirl it about, don't mix it, do it in straight lines until it's a uniform colour. It should be a kind of a pinky colour. You'll see it I'm at here. You'll see that I'm dragging it across the piece of cardboard and I'm not lifting it and dumping it down again. It's one consistent sort of movement that I'm at here, and that prevents air bubbles from entering the mix and prevents you getting as many pits when you go to fit it. Now that to me looks like a pretty uniform colour, so I'm now going to take the panel and I'm going to try and put a little bit of it on because it starts hardening quite fast. Oh dear, I just dropped the panel again. Hopefully I didn't break it. The perks of having a messy shed. Right, I'll see what you can see here. Just maybe you need to go up a little bit or something. No, I'll just take the box away. There, now you can see what I'm doing. Right, I'm just gonna start smearing a bit of this on here, little bit by little bit, and I'm gonna try and go higher here than this spot because you can see where the crack is. That's kind of higher at the crack, so I'm just gonna go like that and bring it, feather it, make sure I have enough on it to bring me to the right sort of level where I can make it look good. You're going to get low spots when you start blocking this, so you have to think ahead and think, have I done the job right or not, before you start sanding it even. And I know by looking at this, it's still a bit shallow down this end, so I'll just heap it on there a bit more. I hope my arm's not getting in your way there. I can't really see what you're seeing. So that's that. And I'll do the same again. And in the middle piece here, I don't want to lose that sort of edge that's there, so I'm trying my best not to overdo that. But I do have to cover over, and the cracks are just everywhere, so it's a pity, but it's the way that things go. You know, can't have everything perfect all the time, unfortunately. So just trying to fill in the crack here, and it's not just proven to be that simple. The secret is to get as smooth a finish as you can when you're putting it on. If you have a good smooth finish when you're putting it on, it's going to be easier sanded. There's going to be less pits to worry about. There's going to be pits and stuff after you finish sanding anyway, and you will have to go and touch it up in places. So I wouldn't be too worried about that if that's what you're getting. So then I just let this dry on this, and it'll break off, so it will when it's dry. So hopefully not off the piece. And I'm just going to clean up any bits that I don't need to touch, because that can be really annoying, getting into them places whenever it's dry. It's quite a hard stuff to work with when it's dry. Right, that's that done. I don't know how much of this you can see. You can see pretty good. I'll just hold it up for you so you can see what I've done. So there you are, I've covered it, just literally covered it and stuff. And I'm hoping now, just see if I can give you a bit of light here. Is that better or worse? Right, I've got loads of filler on that now, and you can see that it's not perfectly smooth and everywhere, but not much you can do now because it's starting to get dry, and if you try to start dragging the scraper over it when it's like that, it starts to put all these holes into it, so you're better off to just leave it alone. I may just try and put a little bit on the top of this. Yeah, it's probably better. I mean, this is going to be a lot of sand and work when I'm sort of done, but I do want to have it right. Okay, I think that's all I can do for now. We'll just have to see how we work out now in another little while. I may not sand it tonight, I may just leave it and sand it maybe another night. So that's the video for now. So how's that light for you guys? Is that any better? Just hung my work light up on the door there. As you can see, maybe I should come this side of it. So as you'll see, I have been trying to smooth this out a little bit just before I start at it with sandpaper. I got at it with this file, which keeps it nice and level, and I defined my lines that I needed to get back into it. So that's what I've been doing, and you'll see that we're seeing some low spots. This is what happens. It shows you where your low spots are, and you need to put some more on, but you can see the steel just starting to show through here. I've got a bit of a cough, sorry, excuse me. So I'm going to get a bit of sandpaper now and start blocking this, but I need to sort something out that I can put you somewhere where you're going to be able to see. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. Okay, what's that like for you? Can you see enough there? Hope so. So I've got some sandpaper here. I'm just going to get a little bit of it out. I don't know what grits are in this, but I have 2 coarse, 2 medium, 2 fine. I think I'll go with the coarse for now, just to see how we get on. I've got petrol spilled all over this. Oh no. Oh, it's not too bad on the paper itself, which is, thank goodness. Figured we might have a bit of a problem there, bit of an issue. Right, so this is 80 grit. 80 grit is good enough. I think I'll stick with that for now. And I'll just try and find myself a little block here. And we'll get to work. So I'll try and get my file here, and I'll just wrap it around the file. Hope I'm not in your light there, you can see what I'm at. Right. So I'm going to start in the middle here and try and get the middle cleaned up a little bit. Okay, so it's now probably about 20 minutes later, as you can see from my coat. And I'm a lot further on now, and I'm very happy with my results. You can see that I've defined my lines well there, and everything's smooth and flat. To find my lines in there. Hopefully the mould's not going to pick up any imperfections. Got that back piece sorted out, or dropped off a bit. There are a few tiny pits, but I don't think the mould's going to pick them up, and even if it does, I can sort them afterwards when I have the piece made. For those of you who would be using this to do spray work or something, pits as tiny as that there, if you're using a high build primer, will never show. But there's one there now. If I can just show you with a bit of light. Now that one, the like of that might be seen, so you may have to fill a bit more filler in on that and fix it as the same with this. So bigger ones will be picked up in paint and will show. I may fill that one in there. And there was a little bit that was a bit shy, a bit low here, so I do have to mix up a bit more stuff and just put more on that and get it flattened out right. But besides that, I think you'll agree that it looks pretty good, and a mould of that there would be pretty decent. Let's hope that it works out that way. If not, I may end up just having to use this piece. So either ways, I have to have a sprocket cover, so that's the reason I'm doing it. So I'm going to mix up a bit more stuff and just put it on that little piece, that tiny little piece there, and yeah, that should sort us out. Then the next challenge will be to close this gap off. Can't have this gap. I have to cut something the shape of this and hot glue it in or something. Same on this side. I'll have to hot glue something in there so that the mould actually takes the shape of what's here. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge also. Cross that bridge when I come to it. My usual saying. So that's it for the night, guys. There's not much more I can do, only mix up a bit more stuff and just put it on there and see what tomorrow brings. Okay, bye for now. So I've decided to carry on a little while longer tonight, and I mixed some more isopon up, and as you'll see, I've went back at this edge. I've added a bit. I've added a little bit where there was a bit of a pit there, and I've built up that part that was low, and just a little tiny piece here. So I'm going to go in and have a mug of tea, and I'm going to wait for this to dry. It doesn't take long, usually about 15-20 minutes. That'll be hard as a rock, ready to be sanded. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in and get a cup of tea. I'm going to let this harden and come back. Another thing I wanted to mention was that it's not my first time using fiberglass, but it is my first time trying to create a proper piece out of fiberglass. And so even though I'd have fixed little pieces of boats and things like that, I did not fix pieces that had to have a hard coat on the top of them. So this is the first for me, and I realised that when you watch the YouTube videos, they talk about gel coat. But gel coat's not the finished product, just so you know. Gel coat is a product that remains tacky when it's finished, and you need to buy top coat as well, or flow coat as they call it, and you have to spray that onto it or paint it onto it after the piece is made. I still have a few answers to get which I couldn't find on YouTube, and that's that if I use the gel coat alone, when I go to pull it out of the mold, because it's still tacky and it doesn't harden up, is it going to make a mess of the piece, or is it going to make a mess of the mold? Or do I have to use a top coat when I'm making the actual piece as the first layer? So that's an issue I'm dealing with at the minute, and I'm trying to find out. so hopefully I'll have found out before I go to actually make the mould. So I'll see you in a few minutes, guys, and we'll finish this off for the night. Okay, I'm back after my cup of tea, as you can see. I don't know how much you can see there, but I've moved the light to a different place to see if it makes it any better. And you'll see that I've added them bits that I showed you there a few minutes ago, and they've hardened up now. So I'm going to get the file out now, and I'm going to flatten it off best I can. I think that's about as close to straight as I'm going to get that. It's not too bad. It's not too bad at all, guys. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it's way better than what I had the first time. You know, when you look at the back of it and the way it's all pieced together. I mean, if I can have a fiberglass piece made that picks up all this detail of the edging and all of that there, yeah, I'll be happy with that, most definitely. So there you go, guys. I guess that's the end of another series here on Demo 690. And the next video is either going to be about the SH50 after I get a bit of fuel line, or I may just try and make the mould for this. I'm still debating the fact that maybe I should make a fiberglass mould instead of a plaster of Paris one. If I have enough fiberglass, I might do that, simply because it's a more durable mould and I could make 3 or 4 pieces if I needed to. I know I definitely need 2 of these anyway. I have one for this bike and one for the spare engine over there in the corner, which I may have stored some stage. So that's it, guys. Let's hope it works out.